Hello world and hello dear fans of Soulmate Debunked. My name is Susanna and I'm the creator of Soulmate Debunked. How is everyone doing today? So for some of you who may have noticed, I am wearing my I'm the One Soulmate Experiment t-shirt, and I think I'm going to be wearing this t-shirt for many future broadcasts. In fact, it's probably going to be my uniform of choice now for all future video broadcasts. But I have ordered a few more obviously color combinations and styles, and so I'll share those with you once I receive those. But for those of you who are participating in this soulmate experiment and have ordered your t-shirts, please make sure to take your selfie photo and upload it to this Facebook page, or you can send it over to Ruowen's Facebook page so that Ruowen and I can start playing Soulmate Matchmaker. And I know that many of you should have received your t-shirts by now, so don't be shy in taking your photo and uploading, because again, part of the whole intention of this experiment is one of the first steps is for you to step out of your comfort zone, right? And allow us to help you play matchmaker, and especially with the soulmate matchmaking, right? So yeah, let's get this experiment underway and don't be shy. Okay, so let's get right to today's video topic. How did I come up with today's video topic? Well, I watched a movie recently, and I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Basically, the synopsis of the movie was that the female character, and it's not always a female character, but the female was, pursuing her dream job and living in the city of her dreams, and life was going great for her until she, met the man of her dreams, or the love of her life. And she felt so strongly about this guy, but he lived across the country. So she decided to kind of sacrifice her career and her life in this dream job and city that she was at, and decided to move across the country for this guy. So sure enough, he doesn't know what's going on. She surprises him. He's totally shocked. He doesn't feel the same way. She's disappointed. She's sad. She's completely almost destroyed, right? She feels emotionally just defeated because she did all of this for him. So of course there's this big dramatic scene where she breaks down crying, and she exclaims, and she tells the guy, I made all the sacrifice for you. But sure enough, the ending of the story was that she had to pick up the pieces and find herself again and start her new life again, right? So that's why I thought to myself, there's actually many instances of this kind of scenario. So it's almost like life imitates art, right? Or in the movie sense, it was art imitating life. But what I'm trying to say, that it is actually far too often and far too common where I do see this happening, where people make sacrifice in the name of love, or they think it's for love. So I'm going to get right into this topic, and I want to first and foremost give you a big disclaimer that when I mean sacrifice equal love, I do not make this in reference to parents making sacrifices for their children, or children when they're grown up making sacrifices for their parents, nor am I speaking about this in relation to people in marriages, long-term serious committed relationships, or families, or friends even for that matter, okay? So I'm talking about this topic strictly from the perspective of if you've just met someone, or you are in a new relationship, or you're dating, but it's much more of a non-serious committed relationship yet, okay? And people have in the back of their mind the sacrifices that they think they need to make. So Let's begin with defining this term of sacrifice. So I'm just going to kind of read to you what I have written down based on a dictionary definition of sacrifice. It says, if you sacrifice something that is valuable or important, you give it up usually to obtain something else for yourself or for other people. Okay, so fair enough, right? That's what we all understand sacrifice to mean. Now, obviously sacrifice in ancient times, people made sacrifices to gods. Well, actually, maybe they still do, but they don't do a sacrificial animal or anything like that. But people do make, in a sense, some kind of a sacrifice to gods, or they pray to the heavens for the general idea of that if I'm giving you this big sacrifice, or I'm giving you this big commitment of myself or something of myself, then I expect something big in return. So it's, again, in the sense of, if I do something big in return for whoever it is or for whatever purpose or reason, then I expect something big back, right? Now, of course, in today's society, and when I reference this in reference to relationships, it obviously, people think that if they make a sacrifice in the name of love, or if they sacrifice and give up something big of themselves, that somehow in their mind that's a selfless act, right? I'm doing this out of love, so it's a selfless thing. But I want to really shed light on this and say that let's not confuse sacrifice with love. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat that, in my opinion, that sacrifice does not equal love at all. And why is that so? So first of all, why do we make sacrifices? We do it with the intention of obviously making someone else happy or appeasing them, right? And when we do that, there is expectation or something that we want in return. And in the sense of relationships, or meeting someone new, or in dating, we want to think that if we make a sacrifice, this huge sacrifice of ourselves, and typically what we expect in return is that other person's love, time, devotion, dedication, something big back in gesture, or in feelings, or emotions, or in commitment, right? So that's typically the the trade-off that we're expecting when we're giving something so big of ourselves to someone else. That's what we expect in return. We expect something big in return, right? So first of all, that in my mind, that's very transactional. That is not love. That is not selfless. If you're doing that with the expectation of getting something big back in return, that's a transaction. That is not a selfless act. Selfless acts are when you do something out of pure love, and it's unconditional love, and you don't expect anything in return. Okay, so that's again, sacrifice is not something that's selfless, because when you make a sacrifice, 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, you expect something back in return. Now, the other side of this, when you're making sacrifice, and how I really definitely, when I say definitively that sacrifice does not equal love, is that, number one, for me in my mind, I usually have reaction to words. I get certain feelings or reactions to certain words. And when someone says to me the word sacrifice, right away, it's not like it's a negative connotation. But for me, the word sacrifice is not from a space of love, or with the intention of love and the good vibrations or the good emotions, right? For me, when I think of the word sacrifice, right away, the immediate thought that comes to my mind is it's an unbalance. What I mean by an unbalance is that it's you giving up something big to someone else with the expectation that they're going to give something big back to you, right? Just what I explained earlier. So right away, that balance is off already, because you're giving something of yourself that's so big, and you, my hands are big, but you want something in return. So, but if that doesn't happen, there's going to be a balance, right? Because you felt that you've sacrificed, you've given so much, but the other person didn't give back. So there's going to be the unbalance, right? So that's why there's that kind of, that word that comes to my mind is unbalance. And it's more so of a, not negative connotation, but it's just not a very good word that I would connect with love, okay? So the other side of it is, obviously, for those of you that have followed my previous video broadcast, you know that I'm always promoting and talking about self-love, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. You have to, it has to be about self-love. It has to be about honoring, respecting, loving yourself, setting your boundaries first and foremost, right? Before anything else. That's the most important aspect of all of this, right? Is you need to have self-love for yourself in order to be able to attract love. So when you sacrifice for someone, you're giving up so much of yourself for someone. That is not self-love, and that is definitely not even love for the other person. You shouldn't have to sacrifice anything of yourself. You shouldn't have to give up anything of yourself. You shouldn't have to do anything that is so out of alignment with your soul purpose, with your passion, with your dreams, all of that, right? Because that absolutely creates an unbalance in your life and in your soul evolution, for that matter. So if in the event that you feel that you have to make a sacrifice for someone, that is not love. And the flip side of it is that the other person shouldn't expect you to make sacrifices for them. And if they do, I can tell you without a doubt in my mind that that is not love. Love is not about sacrifices for each other. Love is about, there is obviously in a relationship, there's compromises that need to be made, right? But definitely not sacrifices in the extent where you give up a part of yourself, give up your life, your dreams, your career, whatever it is that you're on the path to creating a better future or life for yourself, but you throw that aside or you put it aside for someone else, okay? So, and again, just as a disclaimer, you know, I'm talking about this strictly in terms of when you meet someone new, you fall madly in love with them. They may or may not be the one, but you're contemplating giving up things that you love, you cherish, that is part of you, in order to gain the love, devotion, dedication, commitment, whatever it is from that other person. So sacrifice does not equal love, period, in my mind. And again, if that other person, or you sense that they expect that from you, then in my opinion, I would suggest that you cut that off right away and you run. You run far away from that person. You set your boundaries. You set your boundaries of what is acceptable for you to compromise, but not sacrifice. Okay? So hopefully that helps clarifies a little bit for you that topic, but I just found it super interesting because of that movie that I saw, and it did trigger a lot of past conversations with friends and for myself that I've had about this topic. So if any of you have any comments or suggestions or feedback, please do leave them at the bottom. Don't be shy to share whatever is on your mind about this, or if you've experienced something similar to this yourself. And again, in wrapping up, as with all my other videos, please subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. And of course, the other big thing is, please do, if you're interested in having Ruowen and I play matchmaker for you, please do make sure to get your I'm the One t-shirt, and at imtheone.co. I'm going to leave the link in this post as well. So obviously, I am going to see if I can keep up with these video topics more now, because I'm thinking I need to get to 50 before the end of the year. So we're halfway through the year. So I'm just doing quick calculations in my mind. If I can get about 25 or halfway done by this summer or in this next month or so, then should be in decent shape. So thank you again anyways for tuning in, and as always, lots of love, and we will see you again next time. Thanks. Bye for now.